Hello and welcome to another episode of Crop Roadshow. In this episode, I'll talk about three more orchid species. We'll start off with Cattleya labata. Cattleya labata was amongst the first Cattleya orchids to be discovered. It was first purchased from Mr. Swanson by William Cattleya alongside several other ferns in an attempt to grow this new variety. He certainly knew that there was some interesting orchids in South America, and so he purchased one from Mr. Swanson. It became popular over time due to the fact that it bloomed in the fall and had this lovely looking appearance. However, over time, these Cattleya orchids would lose favor as they're replaced by their progeny, Cattleya fabia, and their hybrid between Cattleya darwiniana and Cattleya labata, both of which bloomed in the fall, but are far more floriferous or free-flowering than the original parent species. This species is commonly grown in greenhouses, but in certain instances, it can be grown in the windowsill. There is an old wives' tale that it was used as packing material for ferns, and just as a laugh, William Cattleya began growing it and produced these flowers. In reality, he knew that this plant was valuable, and the ferns being wrapped around the Cattleya orchid and vice versa were for mutual protection more so than anything else, because packing material was not as good during that time period as it is right now. In terms of ornamental properties, it has good carriage, which means that the flower spike and the flowers are open and they are held in a very specific direction. If I go back here, there's very little crowding. In terms of breeding history, there's about only a few hybrids. I was saying about only 2 hybrids that were used, and they're not being used that much anymore, so I have to give it a 2 out of 3. In terms of trait qualities, the flower orientation is passed on pretty well, and it looks pretty nice nonetheless, so I have to give it a 3 out of 3. As for ease of growth, since it can be grown on a windowsill, I have to give it a 3 out of 3. Now to Cattleya lobata. Cattleya lobata was a Cattleya species that was first thought to be Cattleya labata. It was renamed Cattleya lobata due to the more lobe structure. This orchid was found in the Trumpet Mountains, I believe, of Brazil. As you can see, this is a very unique orchid, very nice looking, similar to Cattleya labata in shape, and it shares the same environment, although it's very much a little bit different. It has 8 pollen instead of 2. This is why it was first put into the Labiata genus, like Cattleya crispa and Cattleya purpurata. However, DNA evidence has shown that this is not in fact the case. It is in fact a Cattleya orchid. People have attempted to make crossbreeds with it, but all of them failed to produce something better than this species, so they got scrapped. There's quite a few different varieties, although it is a shy flowerer due to the fact that it needs a greenhouse in order to properly be produced, to produce flowers. It is, however, easy to grow within the greenhouse, so I have to give it a 3 out of 3. Although in hindsight, I would probably give it a 2 out of 3 with the information I have now, so please ignore the screenshot, I guess. For breeding history, give it a 1 out of 3 because people at least attempted to breed with it. And for ornamental properties and trait qualities, I'll give it a 3 out of 3 for each one, for a total of 9 out of 3. For our last orchid, we will talk about Cattleya luteola. It is a unique orchid in the fact that you can grow it on a windowsill, but you need specialized watering systems in order to do so. It is, however, quite dwarf. It was first discovered in the late 19th century, if I remember correctly. And I was incorrect. It was in the mid 19th century, between 1830 and 1840, where it's grown quite extensively. This variety is unique. This species is unique in that it's one of the few dwarf species in common production. It's very unique in that it has a nice lip color, but very cream-colored petals. It has not been bred with very much until the 1960s, when it was crossbred with a Slocarnites species, Slocarnites coccinea. This species was then used, this hybrid, I mean, was then used to breed pretty much the foundation stock for all dwarf Cattleya orchids we know and love today. For breeding history, you have to give it a 3 out of 3. For ornamental properties, I have to give it a 2 out of 3 because not everybody's a big fan of the green color, although I am. For ease of growth, I have to give it a 2 out of 3 due to the fact you can grow it on windowsill, although with great difficulty. Cattleya lobata, by the way, can also be grown on a windowsill, but you need to add extra light. I forgot to mention that. But in terms of breeding history and trait qualities, the breeding has been done extensively, as has the traits been measured. These produce really good dwarf varieties. So in conclusion, I give this plant overall a 10 out of 12. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching.